Before we get too into it, viewers, I'd like to share something with you. This is my first Alfa, and that means I'm officially a certified car enthusiast. Let's get started, shall we?
From above, everyday would seem turning into love song.
The cabin in this Alfa is very driver focused. You sit really low, very huggy seats, which I love. You have heated seats, heated steering wheel if you want it. All your aircon controls are in the center. You have a very BMW-esque entertainment unit, but you have some very nice dials in the middle, a very uniquely Alfa steering wheel with the engine start-stop button in the center. You have these lovely stainless steel paddle shifters. I cannot tell you through the camera how good they feel. Like it entices you every time you feel them to really get into manual mode and play with it yourself, because they're just a joy. They're right down, they're column mounted, so they don't turn with the steering wheel like most cars do these days. In this model we have the optional sunroof, which is a joy. The car is very quiet. That cabin noise, you can hear it yourselves. There's not much. You hear a bit of road noise. The engine is a bit quiet. My one little quirk with this car is I would have liked it to be a little bit louder, because the engine is very nice. I did read somewhere it was tuned by Ferrari. Don't know if that's true or not, but it's got a lot of punch. It's surprising for a 2-litre turbo with 206 kilowatts, 400 newton meters of torque. They say 0 to 105.7, but it feels a lot faster than that. So that's a good thing. This car weighs less than 1,500 kilos, 490, I think it was, to be exact. And you really feel that in the corners. Now, they have put double wishbone front suspension and vertical rod rear in it. Never heard of that before, but it works well. Right now, I'm on a very bumpy road, and you can hear it's not uncomfortable, it's not jolty. There's potholes everywhere, we're dodging them. It handles it quite well. So a few early reports of previous models was the ride comfort. I think if they've fiddled with it, they've definitely made it better, because it's not too bad at all in any circumstance, unless you're really driving through a mess. The controls are very European, indicators on the left, wipers on the right. You have all your up-to-date safety features. So you got adaptive cruise control, lane steer, lane assist. You have your voice buttons for your talking to the head unit on the steering wheel. And you have a nice BMW-esque shifter in the middle. However, Alfa have gone out of their way to leather it up very nicely, perforated leather. You can even see the stitching. And they've got a lovely Italian flag in the center. And that is just the start of how they make this car really feel special. One of the biggest compliments I can give this car is that it really stands out among its competitors. When you're looking at the likes of an Audi, a BMW, they're probably just as quick. You're paying the same premiums as you would for this, but this stands out in a crowd. Everywhere I've gone driving this week, there are people have been checking twice, going, whoa, what was that? And that really is the statement that I think really sums up Alfa well. You have a car that stands out, but is just as good as everyone else. I personally feel like the thrill of driving this car. It's like I said, a very driver's focused car. You feel it in the turns. It's a joy to drive around the back bends and everything like that. I think it would be fine on a racetrack. The brakes are unreal, the shifts are unreal. I'm amazed. There is a torque converter gearbox in this car, and I'm amazed at how well it shifts. My previous history, wouldn't have thought much of a torque converter gearbox these days, but this thing shifts well, shifts fast, smooth. And the car itself, I've found myself wanting to drive it every day, and when I do it, it's fun to drive. You go out of your way to drive it, and that's really what you want from a car like this. You know, if this is your only ride, you want it to feel that way. You want to be having fun driving it, wanting to go out and drive it when you've got some downtime. You're very low in the cabin. I will say this, viewing out of the cabin, there are a few blind spots, and your revision mirror, there's a few blind spots in that too. But it's got all the sensors, it's got the side mirrors, you got your reversing camera. Yes, the viewing is not as good as maybe some of the competitors, but it doesn't mean it's bad by any means. You're not going to have any problems parking this car. It's a pretty good size all around. The boot can be accessed via your key fob. 2 clicks and she opens. You have 480 litres of boot space, plus the rear seats go down. And just so you don't get any finger marks on your Alfa, there's 2 hand grips here. Pull down and she closes. There's also a traditional center button. In the back, the seats are nice, very nice leather. You have a single USB port, dual air vents. I will say this, it does start to get a little cramped in here, but you can definitely live with it. You got nice trimmings on the doors, stainless steel, and speakers with the Harman Kardon sound system, and your traditional center drink holders. Very nice headrests, and a lovely secondary glass roof for your passengers to look up at the stars or at the sun. You have 2 lights in the center here for extra viewing. Infotainment that you can customize it rather heavily. You can pick what you want to be big and small and what to show you, up to 3 different main windows in the settings at a time. You've just got a simple scroll bar in the middle to go through it all if you need to change it. Plus you've got some controls on the steering wheel here. I really like how the center here, they have the charging bay for your phone tucked in kind of under the handle of the center console, and it is a really nicely placed feature because it's very out of the way. In front of your gear shifter, you have 2 nice cup holders, and in front of that, another parcel shelf where the USB port is. You can put a phone there, you can put your glasses there. There's a lot of room here, but it doesn't look overcrowded. They've done a good job. There's even a spot for your key in the center. The thing I will say about the charging bay is if your phone has a case, sometimes it can get in the way a little bit. It is very cramped in there, so there's a couple of phones, my phone in particular, with its case on, kind of sits on and off charging. It doesn't stay in there. Unless you take the cover off. Take the cover off, you're all good. Let's get into some driving. You can hear that turbo spool up. Gear changes are nice and smooth. Keep your hands on those paddles. Brakes feel nice and chunky. This car just turns into a corner so nicely. You can feel how lightweight it is, and it is so refreshing. Cars are getting so heavy. This car to drive is so much fun, and it's not even the top model. It's like a little hidden gem in the middle there of this range. And I think, for me, this car is going to be a little tuner car that everyone starts to pick up as a few years pass. That's my personal opinion. This with an exhaust, I think it is almost a perfect model. This with an exhaust, you're golden. I personally would drive one of these cars. I would own one. If I only had one car to drive, this is definitely on my list of something I would drive, because I love how it sticks out. I love the Italian design. It really resonates with me as a car enthusiast. This car feels special when you hop in it. You want to dress up, you want to look good. I would love to feel what the Quadrifoglio drives like compared to this. Hopefully I said that right, probably didn't. we'll call it the QF from now on. It's an interesting mix here because we're just under that 1500 kilo mark with just enough power, and it makes you wonder, does the Quadrifoglio change the dynamics because of the extra weight? Now they do weight save a lot, so maybe it's all good, but it is definitely an interesting one that I would like to drive next to this and just feel the difference. Both of them are amazing, and when this one comes in as tested with the Lusso pack, which is sunroof, Harman Kardon sound system, and a few other bits of leather on the dash and on the doors, you're looking at around 86 drive away in New South Wales, and that's getting up there. That's a lot of money. Now, it's not crazy money compared to its competitors. It's reasonably priced, and I think being a more driver-focused ride, I think it's priced well for the market, but it is a lot of money to fork out. So if it's in your budget, test drive is my opinion, is my advice to you. I love how everything's black above me, none of this plain white or cream stuff. Everything feels nice. The steering wheel's nice in your hand, it's not too thick. Paddles, everything's easy to access. You even have a little extender at the front of the seats, which just for tall people helps them sit in the seats more comfortably. You have the nice Alfa stamped logo in the headrest, which I think is a really nice touch. And the silver sills on the doors with Alfa Romeo look lovely. Sound system is awesome. As a package, this car is really well dialed in all areas. You got your safety, you've got space, 480 litre trunk space. You got 5 seats, you can fit everyone in. It is a bit cramped in the back, especially in the middle with the gearbox tunnel there. It is rather in the center person's leg space. So they will definitely not like being in there for too long. But it is a premium car, a very premium car, a very nice car. And it just oozes style and soul. And that's a big thing for Alfa. Soul, their DNA driver management system, A for technically eco mode, N for natural, and dynamic is the D. And that's the one that sharpens everything up and really lets you let it out. And it is just oodles fun. It's fun. You want to drive it all day long. As a nice note, the engine, with everything closed, you can hear the engine in here. And I don't know if they've piped it in. I don't think they have, because this cabin is very quiet. With everything up, it is a really good cabin in here. You do not hear much, but the engine with everything closed, you can hear it, and it sounds rather nice. You can tell it's got more to give in terms of a nice note. It's there, it's just got to be let loose a little. And I have no doubt that aftermarket guys will be looking to put exhaust on this quick smart. I am a little bit disappointed that they had to drop the tan leather option, because for me, if you're going Italian, red car, black rims, tan leather is the perfect combination. But sadly, not a lot of people bought that combo, so fair enough. You still have the black leather and red leather options. Hopefully the tan comes back at some point. The wheel choice in this car is awesome. I do think a lot of people mistaken this for the QF. It does have the looks about it. It's very similar. I like the click of these pedals. Kind of like an event.
When you press me, your when you speak, angel.
plenty of punch. 2-litre 4-cylinder with a bit of a note. Rear-wheel drive. 5 seats. And plenty of boot space. And to tie all that together, we have a nice Italian style bow. In the right colours, mind you. This red is at one point. At a drive-away price with the Veloce pack of $86,000. If this is in your price range, if you're looking at a 3 Series BMW or an Audi S3 or something along those lines, I highly recommend you divert your attention to an Alfa Romeo and just give it a try. See what it's like compared to the others. See if you like the Italian flair. Maybe it's too much for you. Anyone who's a driving enthusiast, someone who likes a drive and likes to feel a car, enjoy a car, listen to a car, this is one for them. This is a tribute to those kind of people. And I love that Alfa has stuck to that their whole life. Now that I've driven one, I get it. I get why you are a certified car enthusiast once you've driven an Alfa. Because once you taste them, you really get a sense of what driving is about and the enjoyment of what driving is about. These are such a special car. Love to see what the QF is like, just saying. And on that note, guys, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you liked what you're seeing. Let us know what else you'd like to see. I'd like to thank Alfa Romeo and Exhaust Notes for this week. It's been a pleasure. And this is going to be a hard one to hand back. I kind of want to keep it. I do. Thanks, guys. See ya.